Do you want early access? Do you want uncut reactions? If so, then check out our Patreon. Link in the description down below. The Avatar and the Fire Lord. Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 3, Chapter 6. The whole thing with the Avatar is the previous one, Roku, was around 100 years ago, and then Aang inherited the power, and then Aang pretty much went and was isolated himself for 100 years. What do you think happened between the Fire Lord and the Avatar?
I mean, I feel like that's what this episode is going to be about. Consider it's called the Avatar and the Fire Lord. So.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, you're right.
I mean, I can't, because Zuko's grandfather started the war, right?
Great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. That was not... Azulon was his grandfather.
Yes, Azulon was his grandfather, and Sozin was his great-grandfather.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I mean, I would imagine that they didn't get along because Sozin had to essentially be, like, amassing a secret army during his reign to, like, start all this crap.
And the whole thing with the Avatar is supposed to keep balance.
Right.
And you got to think, if the Avatar was around in the time of Sozin, what would have to occur in order for the Fire Lord to really, take an advantage?
I don't know.
What would have to happen? So we're gonna get the answer to this.
He would have to either be on his side for an amount of time.
He had a witch curse him and turn him into a streaming service so he could wage war on the rest
of
them.
everyone against him and cast him out somehow.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah,
yeah. He called him into his chambers and he was like, Avatar Roku, please play for me the new season of Walking Dead. And he's like, I don't know what that means.
And
Get out! Never return!
And then
because he is Avatar Roku.
Yeah, I get that.
And
That's a good joke. That's a.
And then the Fire Lord's pet lemur with a gun popped out of an urn and shot him.
Momo with a gun. It would end it in a season.
Well, it wouldn't be Momo. It would be like something the reverse of Omo. Yeah,
yeah.
The evil
Roku
Momo.
is also 6, I think. 6 in Japanese.
Yeah.
I wonder if that has anything to do with anything.
Well,
or if it's just a coincidental name.
We'll have to see. Let's get the episode queued up here. Let's give it a watch. Here we go.
You need to understand how the war began if you want to know how to end it.
You need to know the story of your great-grandfather's demise. It will reveal your own destiny.
But there's nothing here.
I just don't know if they have a way to get a letter to him right now.
Yes, there is. An entire village. Hundreds of houses. All completely buried in ash.
What do you remember about our great-grandfather's history?
Fire Lord Sozin began the war, of course. He spent his early years secretly preparing for it, but he was as patient as he was clever. He famously waited for the comet, later renamed Sozin's Comet, and used its power to launch his full-scale invasion of the world. He died peacefully, in his sleep. He was ancient.
What does it mean? The Fire Sages keep the secret history in the Dragonbone catacombs.
That sounds metal.
Yeah, it's metal as fuck.
That robe looks a shit ton like the robes that the antagonists in Hexen wear.
You're right.
Serpent Rider's robes.
Yeah.
The final testament of Fire Lord Sozin.
As I feel my own life dimming, I can't help but think of a time when everything was so much brighter. I remember my friend.
You were friends with Fire Lord Sozin?
Back then, he was just Prince Sozin.
Say something to her.
Been there.
Love is hard when you're young.
Grass always helps.
Sozin and I shared many things, including a birthday.
When you get older, you stop caring as much if you embarrass yourself and just say something.
Yeah.
We are here to announce the identity of the next Avatar.
Avatar Roku.
Happy birthday.
I started packing, but then the fire sages told me I won't need any worldly possessions anymore.
Here.
Oh.
I hope you're at least allowed to have this.
But this is a royal artifact.
I want you to have it.
Do they have bathrooms in the spirit world?
As a matter of fact, they do not.
What?
What the fuck?
The place where I was trained to master airbending.
The air
And
nomads.
also where I met an old friend of yours, Monk Diaz. Some friendships are so strong, they can even transcend lifetimes. After my years mastering airbending, I traveled to the Northern Water Tribe. I mastered it as well. My earthbending master, Sud, was uncompromising, stubborn, and blunt,
Sounds familiar.
and a lifelong friend.
Have some tea.
But the results were worth it. 12 long years passed before I saw my friend again.
Sozin, or should I say, Fire Lord.
Customarily, my subjects bow before greeting me, but you're the exception.
Roku, it's that girl who didn't even know you were alive.
When love is real, it finds a way. Being the Avatar doesn't hurt your chances with the ladies.
Is that wrong?
I've been thinking hard about the state of the world lately. Our nation is enjoying an unprecedented time of peace and wealth. We should share this prosperity with the rest of the world.
Whoa.
No, the 4 nations are meant to be just that. 4.
That was my first real test as the Avatar. Unfortunately, it was many years before I learned that Sozin had gone ahead with his plan. I've seen the colony, Sozin. How dare you occupy Earth Kingdom territory?
Your loyalty is to our nation first. Anything less makes you a traitor.
Don't challenge me. It will only end badly.
That was a mistake.
I'm letting you go in the name of our past friendship. Even a single step out of line will result in your permanent end.
Leave the Fire Lord hiked up on a earth pike
Sozin
like
and
that.
I didn't speak or see each other for 25 years after our battle. Let's go! Roku's island was 100 miles away, but I could still feel it rumbling. There was no way I could do it all. Battling the elements was hard enough. I had to do it while I could barely breathe.
Everybody's in boats, right?
For the most part. And there goes the second one.
Need a hand, old friend?
Sozin?
There's not a moment to wait.
Without you, all my plans are suddenly possible. I have a vision for the future, Roku.
Wow.
Oh.
That's a loyal pet right there, man.
Make sense of our past, Aang, and you will bring peace and restore balance in the world.
The timing was perfect to change the world. I knew the next Avatar would be born an air nomad. So I wiped out the air temples. But somehow the new Avatar eluded me. I know he's hiding out there somewhere. The Fire Nation's greatest threat. The last Airbender.
The note said that I needed to know about my great-grandfather's death, but he was still alive in the end.
No, he wasn't. You have more than one great-grandfather, Prince Zuko. Sozin was your father's grandfather. Your mother's grandfather was Avatar Roku.
Say what?
Understanding the struggle between your two great-grandfathers can help you better understand the battle within yourself. What happened generations ago can be resolved now by you. Because of your legacy, you alone can cleanse the sins of our family and the Fire Nation. This is a royal artifact. It's supposed to be worn by the Crown Prince.
Roku was just as much Fire Nation as Sozin was, right? If anything, their story proves anyone's capable of great good and great evil. And I also think it was about friendships.
Do you really think friendships can last more than one lifetime?
I don't see why not.
Well, scientifically speaking, there's no way to prove that.
Oh, Sokka, just hold hands.
Slap him in the back of the head and say, "Shut up and hold my hand."
Wait, but Sokka, didn't he get stuck in the spirit world?
At one point, yeah.
So, I mean...
That's how he knew about the no bathrooms.
Yeah.
Thing.
So, I mean, so scientifically speaking, he's observed the spirit world, so...
Yes, so he's full of shit.
Yeah.
I think he's just...
We're in the spirit world.
He's always going to be the skeptic. That's
Yeah.
the one thing about Sokka. Always the skeptic. There's just moments he needs to be slapped in the back of the head and just like...
I mean, that was a cool episode.
Yes. Well, you thought you were going to learn, more, Aang's side of it and Zuko's side of it, but you learned more about Zuko's side of it because you learned that not only one grandfather, but two.
Yeah.
Both of his great-grandfathers are basically the dueling sides of the same coin that is the cause of the war.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And again, it just provides more depth to the character, which is why a lot of people always see Zuko as probably one of the best characters. Because you look at where we started with Zuko, one-dimensional, just ultra-driven, no compromise. I'm gonna get the Avatar, and look where we're at now.
I feel like there's a very good reason he was basically replaced as the main antagonist.
Well,
I mean, I know the main antagonist is probably the Fire Lord, but like in terms of the antagonist that is actually directly interacting with and antagonizing the protagonists, like he was the first one, and then he was replaced whenever he basically kind of stopped being as much of a dick by his sisters.
Well, you think about like Bleach. Several of the antagonists that we run into throughout the series become allies. Vegeta, for instance, starts out as the antagonist.
That happens a ton in anime, honestly.
It does. But when
Piccolo,
it's pulled off good.
Piccolo was originally
the
main antagonist of the first series, and then he became a
Piccolo.
friend.
Piccolo became my favorite character in DBZ.
Dodge. Even though that's not really from
That's
DBZ.
abridged, yeah. But still, that's funny as hell.
That's what I think of when I think of Piccolo now. That
Dodge
doesn't make a bit of difference, guys. The balls are inert. Shit,
The
go
balls.
on. The fucking balls are fucking inert. Fuck, go on.
Like, fuck off. Yeah, that. I remember you showing me that video. You said you hadn't seen that in years.
I was trying to find it forever. Like, I think I already forgot what it was now, so I'm gonna have trouble finding it again if I ever want to find it again.
The fucking balls are fucking inert.
But it was fantastic. It's on the same channel as a dude that made a different one that is easier to find. So next time I find that one, when I'm searching for it, I will go back and know which one to click on his channel. So.
But all in all, though, antagonists, like pure antagonists, there's sometimes a resolution can be reached and they can flip and they can effectively be redeemed. But there's some characters who can't be redeemed. I think right now Azula is probably the most irredeemable character because we haven't had as much interaction with the Fire Lord. Now, I would say a character who did something irredeemable in this episode was Sozin because he let his best friend die.
That was pretty rough.
That's heartless, dude.
Because to come back after 25 years to help him, put out a couple volcanoes, I was like, man, that's pretty cool.
That's a bro right there. Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's just like, without you, my plans.
Like, you know what? I could just let you die here and go do the stuff I've always wanted.
And then Roku was just like, Sozin, you dick.
But I mean, something had to stir inside of him to make him fly out there to even attempt that. So it's like even he wasn't all bad because I mean he presumably went out there with the intentions of like
helping in some way.
This. I was wrong with, and it's like he saw that chance and was like, so what does that mean? So you're saying there's a chance?
It's probably like, I wouldn't directly kill you, but I could not help.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole Batman from Batman Begins is like, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. Yeah. And thus we have...
But it makes him still look like a hero. Like, yeah, I went and I did all I could, but I just wasn't strong enough to save him. I lost my best friend.
I tried to save the Avatar. And the Avatar told me his last wish was, give the world peace by conquering it. Like, Jesus, man. If anything, if I were Roku, I would have presented a compromise. Be like, how about we share our technology with the world and help advance the world forward together? Let's... if you want to... if you want everyone else to prosper, then why don't you try and help them prosper and we can learn from each other? I mean, isn't that and the four nations can still exist as separate entities because honestly
she's like, I want to share our prosperity with everyone else, and it's like, I know underlying by saying that you mean by conquering them and making them part of the Fire Nation. It's like, you want to share your stuff with everybody else, and that's truly what you're going for. Just share it with everybody else.
I would
open trade.
I would honestly have an exchange program. Like if you could get like Earthbender construction workers and pay them really well and bring them other nations to make stuff. I mean, it's like, and vice versa. I mean,
and also you would be, and also you know what I would do? Water, water transportation system. For instance, getting clean water, fresh water to different places.
Yeah.
You could get waterbenders to pretty much help direct the water, and then the earthbenders to like build valleys for rivers.
That's what I think. There's like a little bit of conceit in here, is that they think that there have to be four nations in balance, but it's like, why can't different benders like mingle together and be like a cosmopolitan elemental society where the elements work in harmony? I mean,
that's where Legend of Korra comes in, because Korra expands on different ideas to do with that moving forward, and that's one thing I respect about Legend of Korra, even though the wheels fall off after season 1, in my personal opinion. But either way, that's...
I've heard a lot of other people say the same thing.
So that's
probably not just you.
Well, yeah, but that's the whole thing with it.
The number of people I've seen that are still like 100% on board and excited about Legend of Korra are exactly 2 that I can think of. So, out of like 30 different people I've heard be like, yeah, it's not nearly as good as Avatar.
No, it isn't. As a matter of fact, an Avatar sequel series, I would love to have seen one where Aang and the crew go pretty much around the world trying to help rebuild with the Fire Nation. Doesn't have to be like a full 3-season series like this, but like a short 10-episode thing of them going to the different kingdoms and being
like a spinoff.
Yeah, like showing like them reuniting with Boomy. He's like, Boomy, how's it going? And he's like, I thought I'd never get out of there. you could write all sorts of fun stuff. But what we got, well, it's all right. But yeah, this a hell of a revelation right there for Zuko. Him finding out that not only is he descended from one of the like progenitors of all this, he's
obviously the new Iroh voice actor. Right?
Yes, that's Greg Baldwin.
So, and it took me a minute to remember that, like, that
it
was
wasn't
a different
Mako,
guy.
yeah,
it wasn't him. So he's pretty good at doing an impression of him.
Yeah, great. Well, several times Greg Baldwin has come in to redub over Mako's work because Mako was either unavailable, and him and Mako worked together for many years. So yeah, and also in Samurai Jack, after Mako had passed away, when the new season came out, they got Greg Baldwin.
Great framing eyebrows.
Yes, I would like a large pizza, extra thick. And it was actually really cool. In one episode, they played the original intro, and you heard Mako's voice. You're like, oh, that brings me back. And then all of a sudden he comes in, and you're just like, aha! I see what you did there. For those out there who have not seen that, that is an awesome closure to an amazing series.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, we'll have to do that with you, Nick, because Mike and I have seen it, and pretty much all the
watch the whole original series because I never finished the original series.
That's fair. I mean, it's a great series.
Most of it, but not all of it.
Well, it's a great series. I mean, damn. All right, well,
tough talk coming from a man who has a basket on his head. This is one quote that I still fucking love.
The Scotsman.
Yeah,
he comes back. He's in the new season.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, everyone, that's Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 3, Chapter 6, The Avatar and the Fire Lord. So, if you all enjoyed, you know what to do. You hit that subscribe button, you ring that bell, and if you want to see more, hey, check out our Patreon, and also check out our Discord. And until next time, I'm Nate.
Micah.
I am Nick.
We'll see you then, everybody. Peace out.
Happy birthday.